Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi everyone, welcome in.
Hello, hello. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes so that everyone can join us, and then we'll get started. Thank you so much for coming. Hello, everyone. We can see new people joining. Thank you for coming. Welcome to our webinar. So I am just going to wait one more minute until we get started. All right? And before we do, I just want to clear something out for all of you. We have here our chat button, and we also have our Q&A button, all right? So if you have any questions, please access the Q&A button, all right? And send us any questions that you may have about our product, all right?
I see some names I know there. Good to have some of my customers there.
That's awesome news. So Lucas, I will ask you to go ahead and start the webinar.
All right, thank you, Fernanda. Hi everyone, I'm Lucas. I'm an account executive here at Pipefy. Let me see if I can move the screen. Yes, there I am. As an account executive, I'm a first sales point of contact here at Pipefy. I serve the regions of the United States and Canada. So I'm Brazilian, and you can see by my accent that I'm not from the US, but I do work with US customers. I always like to mention that in the past I was a Pipefy customer myself. So I come from a background of project management, business consulting. So I worked at Accenture for some time, and there is where I got to know Pipefy and implemented Pipefy myself. So whenever you need some advice or want to chat about Pipefy or about consulting, I'm happy to do so. I love that past experience of mine. The objective of this webinar is to discuss how we are applying AI in the HR space. So there will be different agenda topics today, but the main objective is to show how you can enhance HR efficiency using AI. We're going to show some use cases that we've seen, what we've heard from other customers. So in every webinar, we try to bring some benchmarks, best practices, and help inspire you to achieve better results for your team. And this webinar is focused in HR. So you can think of different processes from recruiting, HR services, HR operations. So we'll cover most of it during this webinar, okay? And this webinar series is a part of it's part of a series that we're doing on AI. So if you're not specific in HR, I saw there were some CFOs, some COOs registering. We will have other webinars for finance, for legal, and some others as well. So just check our page, okay? So moving next, I don't think I can control anymore. If you can just go ahead. Yep. So the agenda, we split it into four main topics. First, we're going to be more agnostic, not talk specifically about Pipefy, but what are the challenges and opportunities that we've been seeing in HR with AI. So of course, we'll mix and blend a bit of our experience, but also what we've seen from reports by Gartner and other consulting companies that we partner with. Then we're going to talk about the steps to implement AI within HR. So how can you start thinking about AI? Where can you apply it, and so on. And then we'll deep dive into how Pipefy AI works. So I'll present to you the different types of AI that we have, and Fernanda will share and demonstrate to you what it looks like in practice. So you'll see some of the use cases, and she will explain you how it works in practice. And we'll reserve the last minutes for Q&A. So as Fernanda mentioned, there's a button there to send questions. We'll check them and answer them as they come at the end. Okay. The webinar is scheduled for 45 minutes. So if you can stay with us until then, we really appreciate you taking the time to be here. And if not, there will be a recording for you to either watch it later or share with other people that you know in HR. Okay. So first, we always like to start with the reflection on what does it take to become more strategic. So in every business conversation that we have, not only in HR, but other functions as well, leaders are trying to become more strategic and less operational. So when you have your team focused on operational tasks, they are usually less motivated. They are doing repetitive tasks. And we all know for a long while now that we can automate and improve efficiency to become more strategic. So what it takes to become more strategic is to free up people to do these other strategic activities. And in the past, we've done this through some types of bots, chatbots, RPAs, and other technology. And AI is the current technology that we have been talking about. When we think about the challenges that prevent HR leaders from doing that, from being more strategic, we see from researches, and we're using here researches from Deloitte, from Gartner, and other researchers that we consult with, 40% of HR employee tasks in general are spent on operational tasks. So again, operational tasks are those with little value added. So they're just repeatedly processing something based on a rule or based on a policy, and there's no value added. They're just repeating themselves over and over. We also see that 66% of leaders face some issue to serve other the employees because they either lack resources or team capacity. So the employees are trying to find out where they can find information, where they can access a specific service, and that causes some pressure on the HR team, and they're usually overwhelmed with requests. So a lack of capacity and resources is a big topic that leaders come to us with. And finally, the employees, the people that the HR serves, they feel that the HR doesn't really understand their needs and expectations, and therefore they have to consult directly with those HR employees. So there's a lot of direct messaging, calling that HR person, and they often feel overwhelmed. So HR leaders, what we've seen is that they need to address these obstacles, all of these three main topics, to become more strategic. And what we've seen is that this is a top priority for most of the HR leaders that we've talked to. So in the past year, what we've seen is that people are trying to address this, and AI can be one of the ways that we do so. Okay. So when we talk about AI specifically in HR, most of the leaders that we've talked to, and again, through research that we've seen in the market, most of the leaders, in this case, 81% of HR leaders, have already explored some kind of AI. So they have either tried ChatGPT themselves, they have explored a tool that has AI, and only a small percentage of them don't plan to use Gen AI in the future. So people are starting to research, they're starting to talk with colleagues, they're starting to go to events, and come to this webinar is one way to think and get insights on AI. But we also see that a lot of the leaders trying to implement AI on the next slide, they are not being as successful. Or if you could move another slide, please. Most of the AI projects that we've seen in the past years, they haven't been successful. So research from Gartner, again, 52% of AI projects never make it into production. So there's a lot of ideas, a lot of interest and energy being put into place. But these projects, either they're not successful and either stop completely, they're stopped by a compliance issue or by some kind of issue, or they take too long. So on average, what Gartner has seen is that it takes 8 months for a project to go from prototype to production. And 8 months, as you all know, it's a long time for a project, especially a technology that is evolving each day. By 8 months, you can be already behind the competition. The AI may have changed. There may have been another product deployed. So 8 months is not ideal timeline for a project like this to be implemented. Okay. So even though we haven't, our customers and people we've talked to haven't been successful, there's still some intent, there's still this positive impression about AI. So 80% of people in the same service, they have been mentioning that they want to improve efficiency, they see the increase in productivity, they want to analyze data better, so they want to understand their metrics, where they can improve, and so on. They also want decision support, so there's different topics and pains they're feeling, and they still want to invest and try it out and improve their day-to-day operations. So there's still a need and there's still a want to improve. But the main concern, if just go back for, there's still a concern on how to do that. So the main concerns that they mentioned today, and I assume some of you may share, is that when we are talking with AI, there's a lot of hallucination. So when we're talking person to person, there's this overall understanding and control, and there's we hire people and we trust that they will do their jobs. They have their policies in place. So when we're talking with AI, there's some hallucination. So there's not a full trust that AI will respond as we want them to. We can't control AI because there's not a contract in place or something in place to control them. There are also some security concerns and some skepticism if AI is really able to deliver what I want from them. So there's still a focus on hiring people to solve these problems. But there's different ways that we can counter these aspects and we can improve and mitigate those risks. And this is what we're focusing on today. So the second part of this presentation is how can you overcome these risks and these objections and apply AI to your reality today. Pipefy has developed this point of view, I would say, on how to overcome these challenges. So the first point that we invite you to look at is to start applying where it fits. So AI as a new technology, people are going to be inspired. They're going to try different applications. They're going to have new ideas. We see companies launching new AI every day. But if you haven't started yet, we always suggest that you apply where it fits best. So there's already some proved, tested, and safe places that you can start applying AI. And these proved fit that we have seen, they usually have a lot of benefit attached to it. So our suggestion is to apply where it fits best. And we're going to share here some of the use cases that Gartner has also gathered. The second topic, the second topic is to collaborate with other teams. So when we're applying AI and new technology in general, we always recommend our customers that they don't do it by themselves. So if you're in HR, we always recommend that you partner with IT to understand the best practices, to understand how to integrate systems, that you talk with legal, compliance to understand the risks and the concerns, because this way you're going to have a more robust implementation in place, and you're going to mitigate some of those risks as well. Some companies are more strict when applying AI. They have a very strict policy. It has to be they have to map the architecture of that software and so on. So we always recommend our customers to do a due diligence and really explore as a group. Okay. And finally, the third aspect is to choose tools that are easy to use. So I'm not sure, in a webinar, we have all kinds of experiences here. So some of you may have tried ChatGPT, may have some tools that already have AI, and you'll see a lot of tools that are very hard to use or they're very distant from your need. So we always recommend that you look into tools that are straightforward, fast to deploy, and that your team is really likely to adopt in their day-to-day operations. So if you choose an AI that has a use case, to use once in a month, it's very likely that your team is not going to apply it and you're not going to get the value that you want. So choose tools that apply to your day-to-day work. Okay. And we're going to deep dive into each one of these three. So when Gartner did a research with HR leaders on the best use cases that you can use in HR, there are three that became the most frequently applied and that you got most benefit from. The first one is an employee-facing chatbot, so the HR services delivery portion. So when you think of HR, there's a first layer, which is the service delivery, how you are serving the employees in your company. So employees and leaders, they're going to ask you for questions on their benefits, on their vacation days. Some leaders are going to ask you to open a position or they're going to report a problem. HR is typically overwhelmed with these kinds of requests, either directly with that person or people are just messaging group channels and so on. And this is one of the best use cases for AI because AI today can serve as a chatbot to understand what that person wants, direct them to the best channel to resolve that, or even resolve it on the go. So this creates a lot of benefits by either addressing requests self-service, so the employee gets the information that they want at that exact minute, and HR isn't even notified. There's not a need for a person to go there. They're going to understand the metrics. It's going to be registered, but you're going to resolve it by self-service. And if they do create and request that service, AI can even resolve that request. So there are ways that you can integrate systems for that. If someone is going to request a vacation, you can have AI support that process and finalize the process without the need of a human, an HR analyst, for example. The second use case is for just another, again, the back, sorry. The second use case is admin tasks, policies, and document generation. So AI today can analyze PDFs, they can analyze job descriptions, curriculums, they can consult policies and procedures. So you can feed AI with some materials so that it can be more assertive. It can focus on the roles that you've designed for them. So you can limit to what extent AI is going to send a message or something like that. So this is the second most common use case. And the third one is for recruiting. So creating job descriptions, analyzing skills from employees that are applying to your role, supporting them on onboarding. So there's a whole range here of use cases. We can also discuss individually with each one of you where you think AI can be applied, but we always suggest that you start with this top layer that we're showing here, okay? The second part that we mentioned is involving other teams. So as I mentioned, the concern with the security and the transparency of AI is there for the organizations. And sometimes you're going to be facing these types of questions. So involve early on your IT teams, your legal teams, and choose a tool that addresses those concerns. So in Pipefy, for example, our data is never used for external training. So your data is specific to your organization. It's not shared externally. It's encrypted for both transfers and storage. So whenever you're sending messages, you're storing information that is, again, specific to your organization. And we have the compliance, the certifications that are typically needed across the globe. So there's even regional certifications that we abide to. So choose a tool that is certified and use your teams to make sure that you're abiding to your specific policies, okay? And finally, choose an easy to use tool. So again, you're going to find many tools in the market. We at Pipefy, we serve a wide range of services, a wide range of even functions. So as I mentioned, not only HR, but finance and some others. And Pipefy is very straightforward. So Fernando will show you later on how this works in practice. But with Pipefy AI, you can create processes, you can automate processes, you can analyze processes and ask for information. So all of these can be deployed if you're doing a testing and you want to create a process from scratch. It can be done or in hours or days. So Fernando will show you some more on the next slides. Just to wrap up what AI in Pipefy looks like, we divided into three main features. The first one is the AI agent. So it basically serves that first layer that I mentioned of service. How are you servicing the employees in your company? So instead of messaging Lucas, because Lucas is the HR person to go to, he knows all of the answers and so on. With Pipefy, you can open a chatbot just like you would in a website or something like that, and requests for vacation. How many vacation days do I have? Or where can I access that specific policy? Or I want to create a job position for my team. How do I do it? All of those questions can be addressed by AI. And in Pipefy, we call that the AI agent. So here we're targeting more self-service requests. The second one is the AI automation. So during the process, we're targeting now the transactional, those repetitive activities that HR does. So when you receive, for example, an ID of an employee, AI can automatically assess that ID and make sure that it's valid, make sure that the date of birth is correct. It can extract and transform information as needed. So the AI automation has a lot of use cases, and here's where I think people get the most creative. So we've seen ideas for everything, and every new day there's a new use case. So this one I'll let you all explore further later. And finally, the AI copilots. So throughout your use of Pipefy and managing your day-to-day work and operations, you can ask AI to understand metrics, to understand what happened. Or for example, if I have a process for recruiting, I can ask AI, how can I improve that process? Or give me suggestions to improve the employee experience. So in here, you're going to have an assistant to work during the process and to help you resolve your questions. So this is an assistant to HR, for example, an HR manager that wants to improve the onboarding time. You can ask AI how to do it, and it's going to give you some suggestions. So Fernando will show you most of these three in practice, and at the end we also have some more detailed use cases for you to see. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Hello, everyone. So nice having you all here today. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Fernanda. I'm a global product trainer here at Pipefy, and it's an absolute pleasure to be presenting our AI features to all of you here today. So let's get to it. I have here 4 videos to present short and simple examples of how our features can help your stakeholders and your company overall. All right. For that, I will be showing different perspectives of our product and points of view. So my main issue for the moment is that I need to create a new recruitment process. Okay, so for that, I am going to use one specific segment that is our AI Copilot. All right, so just like Lucas said, we have our Copilot that works basically in 2 segments. So first, I will show you the builder, right? So this is the AI builder. So let's see here. Let me just put a full screen. And I will guide you to it, okay? So what I'm writing here is that I need to create a recruitment process, in this case, for new candidate applications, all right? So I may have a few issues typing it out, but it doesn't matter. Once I generate this request, we can say, then the builder already has a couple of suggestions, all right? So we can see here a few phases, right? So a few suggestions of phase names. And we have here some start form fields as well. We also have some labels for our process. In this case, I'm just reviewing it according to what I have based upon, right, a new recruitment process. And I want to remove the first phase and I want to add another interview phase. So we can see that the third one is interview, but in this case, I want to differentiate them, right? Between one for HR interview and another for manager interview, right? So this is what the builder has done before I even have a process created. So I didn't need to edit this once the process was already created, right? I also didn't like the term hired for the final phase name. Let's see if the AI has any other suggestions. In this case, it has suggested onboarding complete, right? Of course, if you wanted another suggestion, you could also ask that. But in my case, that was perfect. Then I just need the AI to create the pipe, right? So this is where we just need to wait a couple of seconds until the AI creates the pipe and even creates some phase fields, which is something that we had not seen before, only start form fields, all right? So once I see this process, we can see that we have many suggestions already, all right? So the AI has just let us know that it's almost done, and soon we'll be able to see the button, right? So of course, the recruitment process has been successfully created and it's here. Always say please and thank you, even though we're talking to an AI, right? That's very good. So of course, let me just go back here. I think the video ended. So we just need to click on this here button, and then we are directed to our process. Okay, so this is a perspective, let me just put here, that our admin has, okay? But now we're moving on to the created process, and I've already made some of my own modifications, all right? I also already have some example cards, but I have another issue now. As a member, right? So let's go back here. Let's go to the next one, right? So everyone, as a member, I have a very intense work routine, right? And a lot of responsibilities to cover. So I need to handle this process just like any other. And I need to know how the AI automation can help me save time and energy with this task in particular so that I can focus on other activities, right? So what we have here is a card that was already created, right? In this case, we have a recruitment process, right? For a position of product manager, all right? So someone has applied to this position and we have here an attached resume, okay? So we have here a few fields in the first phase. So it can either be suggested by the AI or based upon our own mapping, all right? So we have here the name, the email, phone number, the English proficiency level, some professional experiences, some skills, and even other information that I want to add here, all right? And once I, of course, simply update this, I mean, we can wait a few more seconds, but once I update this card, we can see that it has already been filled out according to the information in the resume, all right? So we can see here, even in Zoom, that we have, of course, some information about the skills, if the candidate is suitable for the applied position, and even the reasons why we've selected this candidate or not, okay? But now we're going to show you how that actually happened automatically, all right? So let's see here. This is the process that has been created, and we're moving on to automation, all right? So we have here the option of when a card is created. Of course, the trigger doesn't matter. We can use whatever trigger we want. It can be when a field is updated. It can be when a card moves to another phase. In this case, we used when a card is created because we have a new application for a candidate, right? What matters is the generate with AI option, right? So what we have done is simply written a detailed prompt about basically what I want the AI to do in this case, okay? So what I have written here is that the AI needs to be an analyst, pretend to be an analyst, right? Reviewing candidates for an open position in the recruitment process. But the person's resume is here. So in this button here, in this blue button, I can add a dynamic field, which is basically a field that is according to each card that has been filled out. So every card will have a specific resume, right? It won't be the same. So every resume that is being attached, the AI will analyze. Then the AI will also need to analyze for which position, for which department, and the job description. because based on all of this analysis, I mean the AI, right, will fill in the requested fields below. So based on what has been basically containing in the resume, they will match that with the position, with the department, with every description that I have of that particular position, right? And then I will have the information that I want. The name, the email, the phone number. We have many fields here, all right? So the English proficiency, some experiences, some skills, and like I said, the AI's opinion regarding in all of this analysis, if it makes sense, if this candidate is suitable for the applied position, right? So this is basically how it happened, all right, everyone? Again, my process is running smoothly, right? Precisely with just one automation, okay? So this, as a member, as an admin, this is very important, all right? So let's see here our next demo. So this time I am a requester, okay? So the person opening a card, like making the application to be a new candidate needs to know the status of that request, right? So for example, they need to know the current phase of their process. They need to know the due date for their feedback regarding that position. So for that, they can access our chatbot. So we have here the AI agent, all right? In this case, the requester will open the chat through a company portal, okay? But it is also available in our new portal or through Slack or Microsoft Teams, for example, all right? So what we have here, let's put the full screen, is a portal, and we can see here that Fernanda, that's myself, I'm the requester now. I have opened the AI button here, right? So I will just type that I want to know the status of my card. So that can be of my application, of my request, of my solicitation, whatever it is. In this case, the AI agent has asked me for my name or title that is associated with the card. So once I am an admin setting up this agent, I can determine which informations I will require of my requester, right? So which information will they need to tell me so that the AI agent can then look for that card? This is very simple. I have simply asked for their name. So that's my name and last name. And now I have the status of my card. It didn't even take 1 second. All right. So I have here the pipe name, the current phase, and the due date. So technically, this company needs to give me an answer until this date. And like I said, once an admin of the process, you can also configure which informations the agents will tell the requester about that process, right? In this case, we have 3 informations here: the name, the phase, and the due date. But it can be any information that you want that the person will have access to, all right? Now we're at our final stage of the demo. So again, as an admin of the process, it is extremely important for me to have a clear analysis, right? So I need to be aware of potential gaps and improvements so that we can maintain a high quality level of efficiency, right? So for that, I can use our other branch of the AI Copilot. In this case, it will be the AI Analytics to provide insights into my process, all right? So let's see here. We are back in our recruitment process, and now we're going to click on the AI button inside of the process. In this case, I have already some suggestions, all right? So Fernanda, how can I help you? I just asked for the second suggestion of the own AI. That is basically, what's the average time to finish a card, all right? Now, that might take a few seconds for the AI to gather data, but we can see here that is a lot of hours, right? But I want to know, how long is that in days? I can ask, how long is that in minutes? How long is that in months, right? So in this case, it's about 31.57 days, all right? Now I will ask something completely different. What is the most common position in this case with applications, of course, based on all of the cards that I already have created in this process, okay? So the AI analytics has determined that the most common one is product manager. Another question, how many first interviews happened, right, with all of these particular candidates last month. So I have just been asking different kinds of analysis, not only the amount of first interviews, but also last month. In this case, only one first interview happened last month. Again, thank you so much. And please, right? So whenever possible. And the AI is always very polite. What I wanted to also show you in the end of this demo is that if I close this chat here and open it again, I won't lose the conversation, right? I still have access to it. However, if I click on this refresh button here, then I will need to start the conversation all over again, all right? So everyone, our users' issues have been solved, all right? So the AI Copilot Builder, which you can find in your organization homepage, created a process from scratch based on a simple suggestion by the admin. The AI Copilot Analytics, which you can find in each process, has delivered important data regarding the admin's processes. The AI automation, which you can also find in each process, optimized the entire workflow and saved many hours of the member's workday with just a detailed prompt, right? And the AI agent, which you can customize in user settings and add to portals or external channels, has assured our requester that his request is being reviewed with a reasonable due date, right? Now, I just want you all to reflect on these three questions here, right? So how much time is wasted currently in your processes on low value activities? How many errors and how much rework could be avoided with the help of automated work? And by how much could the lead time be improved and why? And of course, we have here some processes that you can optimize with AI. And of course, that you can think about these questions, right? So from document verification to vacation request validation, all right? And we also have here some explanations regarding who each feature is for, of course, specifically in HR departments, all right? Of course, what it does, so what each and every one of them does, some very helpful use cases, all right? So we have here, for example, you can consult tax legislation to close the payroll, or you can analyze turnover causes, right? And you have some benefits here on each and every one of those features, right? We also have, and of course, we will give access to everyone to this deck and to the recording of this session, right? So that you can watch it later, so you can learn a little bit more, and so that you can share with the rest of your team, all right? We also have here some capabilities, and this is in particular regarding the automation with AI, all right? So what I do, like my favorite thing about this slide is that each and every one of these automations will take up from 5 to 10 minutes for all of it to happen, right? So for the automation to work, that only takes a few seconds. But with the review of a human, so that you can make sure that everything's okay, and with all of these optimization, that would just take max 10 minutes, right? So that will be very helpful, all right? And we have here again some examples on data analysis, on document generation, on fault identification. So we have very good tips for each and every one of those cases. All right. So everyone, if you have any questions about this demo, please send us through the Q&A button. All right. I will ask Lucas because he is the expert. Okay, so he is very mastered on our sales perspective. So do you want to talk a little bit about our credit system, Lucas?
Yes, sure, Fernanda. Thank you for the demo. Appreciate all of the examples that you did. And for everyone that is here, I know that we have people that still don't use Pipefy, customers, there's different job titles in here. And Pipefy AI is available in every plan. So you can use on your own organization. So if you're an existing customer, you can use on your organization to create a pipe, to create an AI automation. You can create one of the agents. And if you're not a customer yet, or even if you don't want to use Pipefy AI on your current environment, if you use our starter plan, which is our free plan or trial plan, you still have some AI credits. Each one of the features that Fernanda shared will consume a different number of credits, The only one that consumes credit today is the AI automation. So that consumes 2 credits by automation. But you can use, as Fernando was showing, you can have one automation doing a lot of things. So this is enough to start and for you to automate and improve your process. And then you can purchase add-ons as needed. And we have some discounts and incentives this months. So this is a good time for you to test and to explore and to chat with us. Okay, so just so you know, each one of the plans here, the starter is the trial plan, the business, enterprise, and unlimited plan have different number of automations. Automation jobs is the number of the regular automations that we had and that already transformed a lot the process that you had. API calls are those connections between systems. So you can use this to even grab information from another system, transform it with AI inside of Pipefy and send it back to other systems. So there's a lot of potential here. And then the AI credits that we just presented, okay? Finally, if you want to test the value of Pipefy AI, again, you can try it yourself. So if you don't have a Pipefy account, you can create a trial through our website. This link here, you can use your cell phone to request contact using this QR code. And we're also going to provide the link. Fernando is going to copy it in the chat. It's basically a form where we are going to receive your contact information, what you're looking to solve, and we're going to be in contact with you, okay? And finally, we also want to invite you to some of the other webinars that we will have. So again, HR is only one of the AI possibilities that we have. Pipefy works a lot for finance, for procurement, legal, and other types of operations. And all of those features are available to them as well for different applications. So if you have a colleague or someone that you want to support and inspire with what you've seen today, we would greatly appreciate your referral, or if you want to join and be inspired yourself, if you're a COO or something like that, you're more than welcome to join us. So again, feel free to reach out either through the link that Fernando shared directly with Fernando and me. We can find us in LinkedIn, in Pipefy website. So there's multiple ways that you can explore. And of course, there's never strings attached. So you can count on us just to have a conversation and be inspired. Okay. I received one question on the questions and answers regarding the language. So Pipefy
Perfect.
already works in different languages. So you can have Pipefy in English, in Portuguese, I think Spanish as well.
Yeah.
And AI works in the same way. So while Fernando was here, I was testing I don't speak French, but I tried speaking French with the AI and it answered me just fine. So you can also use AI in your specific language, and it's going to translate information for you. So for example, if I serve a lot of customers in Canada, and they mention how the French language is really strong there, and they want to maintain that. You can have AI translate it and standardize responses. So there's lots of uses that you can do in different languages as well. Okay.
Yeah, one good tip regarding this question is that you can always make sure that the AI is going to respond in the language that you want by telling it to, right? So if you have, for example, an AI automation, you have an open space to write the prompt that you want. So in the prompt, you can just say it to them. So we are receiving applications in Portuguese, and I want you to answer in English. Or we are receiving in English and I want you to translate it to French, right? So the AI is really an open space in which you can simply provide instructions and it will give it to you. All right, everyone. This is your last chance to send us, just 1 second, a question through our Q&A button, all right? So we will make sure that all of your questions are answered either through our webinar or later on through our email, all right? But like Lucas said, you can always reach out to us. You can always access our website to learn a little bit more. And like Lucas said as well, invite your team to these new events. We have other webinars focused on other departments, and we would very much like you and of course your colleagues to join us. All right?
Yeah, And just as a final invitation,
Yeah.
AI technology is developing each day, so you're going to find AI coming into life, and the way that we are doing it in Pipefy, it really transforms the day to day. So as we were mentioning about the risks and the challenges that people see, we can counter that by being specific to the AI on how we want it to approach, how we want them to respond. So all of the answers that Fernanda was showing there that the AI was asking and responding to, all of that is configurable. So we can build it in the way that you want, with the language that you want, with the branding that you want. So if your company is more assertive and sharp and communicates very directly, we can configure AI to be that way. So
Yeah.
I really invite you to explore and to try it yourself, because there's a lot here to optimize different types of businesses, and it can really transform your organization and your day-to-day job.
Perfect, everyone. So that's it for today. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us, and I sincerely hope that you all make the absolute best out of Pipefy AI. Thank you,
Thank you all.
everyone.
It was a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.